Today, we're going to be comparing the cameras on a Galaxy Z Flip 4 versus the S22 Plus. These are like their latest flagship phones that they came out with, so let's see which one is the right one for you. Let's do a microphone test. Testing 1 2 1 2. This is what it sounds like on a Galaxy Z Flip 4. Testing 1 2 1 2. This is what it sounds like on a Galaxy S22 Plus. I'll admit, the Z Flip 4 is probably my favorite content creation phone out there because simply the fact that I don't have to bring a tripod. Having the tripod, carrying it around with you, and putting it on and off all the time does take some time to set up, and it could miss the moment. Also, it can attract, or it does attract, more attention. So if you're pretty much like shy around like vlogging or taking selfies and stuff, then it's easier on the Z Flip 4 than pretty much any other phone. On the Z Flip 4, I can basically put it down on the table and simply record myself, do like a quick story or Instagram story or a TikTok if you like to do that stuff. And also I like to use the front screen camera, which I am right now, to see myself, and I can tell that right here is pretty much the cutoff. So that's also a game changer for this phone. So for example, if I just want to do a quick shot of myself, I can just place it down on this little pillar here, and even though it's not the best shot, I can just like at least do something like this without using a tripod. So that is one of the best things I like about this phone. Now I love recording in clamshell mode because it's less awkward and it's more stealthy when I'm like vlogging, but it's stuck in 1080p, which I don't know why, because it's using the back cameras. And for now, if you want the best quality, you would have to open the phone and just take advantage of the cover screen. And also, if you like taking group pictures, then it's easier to do because you don't need a tripod. You can just set it down, angle it, and just put it on a timer. And of course, you can still see it, even though it's like a very tiny screen. Also, I wish there was some sort of way to let me know if it's shooting in landscape or portrait mode, because sometimes when I edit them, it's in portrait and landscape, or landscape. So that's one little thing I wish they would add. So today I'm heading back to Kitsby, which I went there last week to try out their tea experience. Very good and I highly recommend it. But today I'm picking up some mooncakes. After that, I'm gonna go around and check out this chicken spot I wanted to try out. For ultra-wide, something to point out is that the Flip 4, it's just slightly wider. On the camera UI, you'll see 0.5 versus the 0.6 on S22 Plus. It may not be a huge difference, but if you want the most epic looking shot or the most widest looking shot, then the Z Flip 4 is the winner. For the front-facing camera, they both look so identical. I would say the S22 Plus is slightly better in terms of HDR, but everything else, it looks the same. And it goes for the back cameras as well. I feel like they're both so similar, it's hard to tell which one is better. Of course, sometimes you can point out little things where this certain phone will do better than the other, but for the most part, they look very identical. So the S22 Plus does have a telephoto lens, which of course, if you would like to zoom in your photos or video, then of course, the S22 will win, since there is no telephoto on the Flip 4. For me personally, I don't zoom in all that often, so I don't really prioritize having a telephoto lens over a wide lens or a wide angle lens. Obviously, the S22 Plus is gonna win here. It can zoom up to 30x, whereas Z Flip 4 can go up to 10x. But when you zoom up to 30x on S22, it's gonna start looking like the 10x on the Z Flip 4. With both of them on a 4x option, on a bigger screen you can tell the S22 is gonna be clearer, but if you're just showing this on a phone, then you wouldn't notice a huge difference. I really like how I can take portrait selfies in clamshell mode because it's like taking higher quality selfies since it's using the back camera instead of the front. Of course, using the back camera, you do see more details versus the front camera. And with the front cover screen, you can clearly see or frame your shot. Now with the back cameras in portrait mode, the Z Flip 4 does look a lot more saturated. I do pop out a bit more, and you do get to go up to 3x or the telephoto option using the S22 Plus. But in my experience, using that telephoto option, it doesn't hit focus all the time. But if you're a solo shooter like me where you put it on a timer, you actually can see it on a cover screen and know when exactly it took the picture, so that's so helpful. Now moving on to Instagram, if you like to zoom in a lot, of course the S22 Plus will look clearer since it has a telephoto lens. And something in common with a lot of Android phones, when you save the video to your camera roll, the first few seconds or so is going to be so pixelated, you gotta wait until you hit the mid area and then it starts to get better. Now for this shot, I decided not to use a tripod but just to lean leaving the S22 Plus on a wall and just use the Z Flip as it is. And with that experience, it's so nice to be able to frame your shot with the Z Flip 4. For pictures, they both look really good. I'll say the S22 Plus is a bit more saturated and vibrant, so it looks like it's ready to be uploaded to social media. So for Instagram, I do prefer taking pictures over using video on the Samsung phones. So I'm just going to show you some low light pictures while I tell you about my experience using the Z Flip and why I prefer using that phone over the S22 Plus. The first reason is the convenience. The form factor makes it so much easier to take group selfies, even though if you're not a content creator at first, taking pictures like that with your friends and family, not needing a tripod or set anything up, is such a nice thing to do when that time comes. And I do like the physical size. It is much more narrow, so for me having smaller hands, it's much more comfortable to use. And having the front cover screen for other things like using Google Maps and seeing the directions right from that small screen without opening the phone, little things like that, it's useful during the everyday life. I would say the only con is the battery life. When I was done shooting throughout this day, the Z Flip 4 had about 10% less than S22 Plus, so if you're a heavy phone user, then maybe the S22 Plus is the better choice. And it does have a telephoto lens. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think and which one you think is better for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.